YouTube. This is Robert Hopkins, and recently I acquired a steam bicycle designed by Richard J. Smith. I'll make more videos later featuring the bike, but I figured might as well make a video talking about the history of myself, a little bit about Richard J. Smith and the steam bicycle. I guess I'll start with myself and how the whole idea of building a steam bike came around. Well, I'm a steam enthusiast. I've been working with steam cars now for over a decade, and last summer I finally got to drive a car for the first time, and it was a lot of fun. And so I guess I decided after the last steam car tour in Saratoga, I decided that building something like a steam bicycle would be worthwhile, be fun, and compared to the cars, something like a bicycle would take up literally no space. And so last July into August, I did research and I began filling up an entire binder full of like information. A lot of this information is more recent. And I started making calculations for things, although I wasn't really sure what I was doing very well, even though I've worked with steam for nearly a decade. But a good friend of mine, he sent me this magazine for the Steam Automobile Club of America, and this specific issue talks about Richard J. Smith and his inventions, and this is Richard J. Smith's over here. So this is him. But he designed, going into the history of him, he was a steam advocate from the 50s until the early 70s when he died of a heart attack. By the time of his death, he designed boiler systems, and he's also designed marine systems. And, well, in this magazine is where I learned about the steam bike in an article in the magazine. So it's Richard J. Smith's steam bicycle, and here's some pictures of the bicycle. And in this magazine, it describes the bike that's pictured as for sale, and the money would be donated to the SACA, and it seemed like a reasonable offer. It was cheaper than building a bike myself. Building my own engine would have cost at least probably as much as what I got for the whole bike. Richard J. Smith was an advocate out in California, and so a lot of his work, like my steam bike, is mainly out west. And so we've been spending the last 7 months trying to get it here, and 2 weeks ago, it finally got here. It was really an exciting day. And now I'll go into the history of the bike. The platform is a late 50s Schwinn Typhoon bicycle. The engine is, I believe, late 30s. It's a Stewart Cirrus 2-cylinder engine. At 80 psi superheated steam. Though I'm not running superheated steam, I was running the bike the other week at like around 225. Along with the bike, I got this book. It talks about information about what pressures and like fuel mixture, I guess water mixtures. There was a special water mixture. But basically, I run it at a higher pressure, but I don't use superheated steam. But at that 80 psi, it would make about half a horsepower. That's what Stewart tested it to. Over the winter, before I got the bike, I actually made a lot of steam calculations, and these calculations were more accurate. And I made Riemann sums to calculate pressure at different cutoffs, because because the formula I had was really designed to tell you the power at 100% efficiency, which it isn't, and 100% cutoff, which no steam engines in general are built at 100% cutoff. Stanley steam cars, which are the cars I run, they have two cutoff. They have a 20% cutoff and an 80% cutoff. So that's what. So 100% is unrealistic. So I made a steam calculations table which calculates power and I'm estimating that my power, if all of it was transferred to the wheels, it's making about like one and a quarter horsepower or something at 250 pounds, somewhere around there. But that's one of the issues, and I'll talk more about that in later videos with the bike. The boiler was built sometime in the mid 60s probably, and everything was put together in the late 60s, early 70s. The guy who used to own it, he does not recall how he first got the bike. The farthest he can remember is he bought it, and then he actually sold it to a guy. He's actually owned it twice. He originally owned it way back in like the 80s or something, and he sold it to a friend who had a bike shop. And so the bike sat in the bike shop window as a display for many years, and then he bought it back when his friend died, and he's had it since then, and now I have it. But we don't know who made it. In fact, Richard J. Smith could have made it. Boiler, it runs very well, although right now some minor piece of the main steam automatic broke. It just runs off propane fuel. Top speeds around 17 miles an hour. It just has the engine just uses a spindle which sits on the wheel, and that's how it drives it. And it's not really staying down well. So if you do much of an incline, it doesn't really. It loses grip, and so it just slips, which it would do a lot better. And that's one of the issues we're going to address. My dad and I are going to work on fixing, along with that steam automatic problem. Well, I'll make another video later talking about with the bike, maybe even talking about like what we want to do to improve it, but we're trying to mostly keep it original because it is a 30-year-old bike. This is Robert Hopkins, and goodbye.